Shavua Tov, real quick, we got some good news finally. For those of you who aren't following what's going on, an absolute revolution is happening right now in Israel, and it is sweet. So, just to give you the quick details, 3,000 people showed up to a rally in Petach Tikva, which is close to Tel Aviv, in support of Netanyahu in his ongoing battle against the forces that be, against the deep state within Israel's judicial system, which is, of course, the Attorney General, the state prosecutor, and the police. Now, why is this a revolution? Well, first of all, to get 3,000 people out on a Saturday night is, especially in a place like Petach Tikva, meaning if this rally happened in Jerusalem, there'd be 10,000 people. Because the Jerusalem area is a much bigger right-wing stronghold than Petach Tikva. Petach Tikva managed to get 3,000 people out for this protest on a Saturday night. That's no small feat. That would fill up Kikar Rabin Square. And what's happening is people are starting to not only be aware of the corruption of the deep state, of the judicial system that is completely witch hunting Netanyahu, and that, look, if I was left wing, I would actually like Netanyahu. And a lot of very left wing people do. Gideon Levy, who is the worst Arab collaborator, left wing piece of trash, he said he endorsed Bibi Netanyahu. I don't understand why the left is so against Netanyahu. But right now, I don't really care. Because the truth is that Israelis are waking up to the fact that we live in Israel is a police state, and that there is a very small group of people within the judicial system that basically control everything and have deemed the elected officials as essentially powerless. And they're not afraid to speak up about it. It's not like it doesn't fall into the category of conspiracy theory anymore. It's actually happening before us. I mean, if you knew the details of what the police did to Netanyahu's former spokesman, Nir Chefetz, just to get him to roll on Netanyahu and sing. I mean, they deprived him of sleep. They threatened to take all of his, to steal all of, to commandeer all of his assets, to confiscate all of his assets. They found out about an affair that he may or may not have had, and they threatened to release it to the public. I mean, this is the police. They took away Netanyahu's advisors' phones. I spoke about this. They took away their cell phones. Now, if you're a top advisor to Netanyahu, your cell phone is your life. Every private detail, every intimate piece of information is in that cell phone. And the police, under the order of the state prosecutors, Shai Nitzan, confiscated those phones. Why? Because they claim that they're harassing a state witness. Well, what's interesting is that state witness, Nir Chefetz, never even filed a complaint about harassment. So the pieces are coming together. People are starting to realize that this isn't just some wild conspiracy theory. Not only is it happening, but we're not afraid to speak out about it. Not only are we not afraid to speak out about it, but we're not afraid to unite at an event and express our distrust in the government. Now, the bad news is that these people still control the country, and they do not. This small group of the people who control Israel, the people who really control Israel, not Netanyahu, the people who control the judicial system and the police, these are very, very bad people. If I was to put it in biblical terms, I would say it's the Erev of the mixed multitude. They basically make all the decisions here, and the elected officials are puppets. Everyone thinks Israel's a democracy because we have elections. Well, it's not. I mean, Iran's also democracy, and Ahmadinejad or whoever, Rouhani, is just a mouthpiece for the mullahs. Well, it's the same thing here in Israel, just no one wants to talk about it. But right now, regardless of Netanyahu's actual policies, the truth is that he is fighting a very corrupt system that's running the country, and that has been running Israel as a police state under the guise of democracy for over 70 years. And thanks to the internet and the free flow of information, all the bad stuff that these people are doing is finally coming to light. So this is actually really good news. It's really promising. And, I really hope there's a third round of elections, because I believe that if there is, the amount of sympathy that Netanyahu has garnered. Not only sympathy, I would vote for Netanyahu, even though I hate him. If there's a third round of elections, I'm pretty sure I'd vote for Netanyahu, just because this is such an important war to fight. I mean, this is you could say that this is a watershed moment in Israel's history. Happen tonight. Tonight is without a doubt a watershed moment in Israel's history, where the the dictatorship who who controls the most powerful elements of the media the education and the professors of our colleges and the Supreme Court, they're all being challenged out in the open, out in the open. And if we bring their downfall, it will completely change the entire political landscape of how Israel is run. You will see a totally different country. I'm talking about a new era in the land of Israel and the government of Israel. I mean, this is what this revolution is what we've all been waiting for, and it's finally happening. And I'm very excited to see where it goes. It seems like the more that so. By the way, just so you know, what has been uncovered about the police conduct in this witch hunt against Netanyahu is so grave that the police themselves have put a gag order from reporting on it. Meaning the fact that they threatened Nir Chefetz, a state witness, that with information of his love affair, that they would go public, they put a gag order on it. Meaning, if as a media outlet, I would not be even allowed to report on it. They're completely censoring us. And the reason they're censoring us is because they're scared. And the reason they're scared is because they're starting to realize that people are not taking their crap anymore. And that the tide is changing. And this is very, very good. And the mainstream media in Israel, at least, the right wing, like Channel 20, who's a right wing media source, 0404, Kol Yehudi, those guys will report on this. Arutz Sheva, those guys will report on this revolution that's taking place as we speak. But the mainstream media in Israel will be completely silent. They might say, oh yeah, there was a protest, a few people came out. They will, they will deflate the amount of people who actually showed up. And, I saw videos from that protest. There is a spirit. This protest, this rally, these people are spirited. They are, I don't know how many of those people are just loyal to Bibi or how many of those people are just so sick of the corrupt judicial system, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that people are waking up and they're not afraid, and they're not considered crazy for coming out and saying that Israel is actually being run by a small group of people who hate everything that is Torah and religious related. And there's a people's revolution. It's happening. It's in the air. And if you come here and you follow, or at least you follow what's going on in the news, you can feel it. If you understand, if you follow Twitter in Hebrew, you can feel it. It's happening. I'm telling you, people I talk to are suddenly realizing or as people who knew it all along are suddenly not afraid to talk about it. So this is some really good news, and I know I'm kind of the bearer of bad news, which I think is also important, and I'll continue to be the bearer of bad news. But today, so to vote, very good news. Revolution is happening in Israel as we speak, and it is sweet. Shavuot Tov.